Hi, it's Julala here. I'm going to do a video today about the hand fasting ceremony kits that I am releasing at Enchantment. They can be quite complex because there are lots of components to them, so I thought it would be useful for me to go through and show you how to use them. Enchantment opens on the 13th of February. And I should just mention that this adorable hair that I'm wearing is by my good friend Monster. She's releasing it at Enchantment as well, and it is just amazing. Okay, so in a moment I'm going to show you the different packs that are available over at Enchantment and that will be available in store after the event, to explain how to buy the packs to start with. So at the event that these are being launched at, which won't be relevant to this video after the event, but it will be in terms of how you purchase the product afterwards as well when it's in store. So I have here two fat packs in the middle. So there's a human one there and a centaur one there. The fat packs contain everything. Okay, so they contain the stone circle from like down here, and they also contain a voucher for the officiates or officials pack over here. Okay, so if you want everything, just buy the fat pack. You don't have to buy any of these other bits as well. So to explain, for the hand fasting ceremony to work completely, the official who is officiating your ceremony will need at least have the hand fasting officials pack. Okay, the reason for that is that the hand ties, which we can see in the picture here, okay, they will respond to the HUD, which has to be owned by the person officiating the ceremony for it to work. Okay, so they will res the hand ties, they will wear the HUD that has the ceremony speaker. It allows them to hide and reveal the ties, which they would do in time with the ceremony. So the officiate needs to have that control. Okay, so for the ceremony to work, then the official that is officiating your ceremony needs to have the officials pack. Now in the fat pack there is actually a voucher for that you would give to your ceremony official. Okay, so again they don't need to buy it. If you buy the fat pack, it's already in there. Now, a really important thing, if you buy the fat pack, okay, you will receive 2 deliveries. Because the voucher that you're going to give to your ceremony official is no copy trans, it can't be unpacked like the rest of the stuff. It won't unpack if you properly. So the way that I've done it is that you will get the fat pack without the voucher, and then the voucher will be delivered automatically separately. So if you buy the fat pack, await your second delivery. Okay. If you don't want the fat pack, you can buy them the bits and pieces separately. So we've got the participants pack over here. Again, one for humans and one for centaurs. It actually contains pretty much everything, except it doesn't contain the stone circle and the arches, and it doesn't contain a voucher for your officials pack. Okay, it contains the HUD and the ties for your own use. But if you were going to go for the participants pack, then your official would need to buy the officials pack. It occurred to me that people might not actually want the hand fasting at all and just want the stone circle. So the stone circle with the arches, with the nice elemental particles and stuff, is sold separately. But again, if you buy the fat pack, that is in there. Okay. So I hope that kind of clarifies how to buy things and to wait for that second delivery if you buy the fat pack. Okay, so now we've looked at how to purchase your pack in the first place, let's have a look at how some of this works. So I've laid out an example here. We're using the human set to start with. And we have the stone circle and stuff put out, and I also have the standing stone and what I've called the risers in here. There's an altar behind there, which I'll show you when I show you the officials' role in all of this. But to start with, let's just have a look at adjusting your height. So I'm going to jump onto one of these, and I have enlisted the help of one of my alts, who's going to jump on there. And we can see, as expected, I guess, to start with, that the heights aren't right. The hands are about the right sort of height. His need to be slightly different to that. So I'm actually going to choose. So when you sit on here, let me just bring that over there. So you get a choice here. Okay, we've got female tall, so or if you have two people of the same gender or any gender in between, you may not be shorter than the other person, so there's a couple of different heights, okay, for the hands, and then for the male there are also a couple of different heights. Okay, so for this I'm going to go female short, and for my alt I'm going to make him male tall. Well, conveniently, because I've been playing here before, obviously they're almost correct, but not quite. So let's have a look. So to start with, I need to bring my avatar down a little bit. So I'm just going to use that. So what we want to do is adjust using the position adjuster that's inside these risers. We're going to bring it down so that her feet are touching the riser stone. So I have to keep bringing it in because it's over the other side. Just up one, there we go. I'm going to do the same with my ult and bring his avatar down to touch the riser. It's about right. So now we can see that the hands are not meeting in the middle, which is why we've got these adjustable risers here. So I've put on the HUD, and I need to unhide my HUDs because I'd already hidden them. So what we've got here is let's just move that over there. The HUD that comes with each of the handfasting sets, okay. And on tab 2 we've got these risers which will adjust the left and right risers. Okay. Now, because sometimes, and I've set this up so that the official can do this, and anybody who has this HUD can adjust the risers, which means that there's a potential for somebody to mess with them, or if there's some mix over with some other object using the same channel. So I've made these so that you can change the channel if you want. Okay, so what you would do, if you just go into edit dialog, you'll see that there's a number in the description, and you'll see that the number in the description of each of the risers is different, but that it corresponds with just the buttons on the HUD. So to select the HUD, right click and choose edit, make sure that you have edit linked selected, and then you can choose the button, and you will see that it corresponds with one of the risers, and the other riser you can see here corresponds there. Okay, so as long as you have one set of buttons, the same channel in the description field as a riser. It should communicate. So if you want to change those, you can. Okay, and so you would just fiddle about until that looks about right, actually. So one of the things that I notice whenever I go to weddings in Second Life is that the shorter of the two people is often hanging in the air in order for their hands to meet, which is why I've put these risers in. It's something that I think is missing from many wedding ceremonies in Second Life, so that actually they can stand on the ground, even albeit a riser, and have their hands in the correct position. So I've brought in another alt to be the official in this ceremony, and first thing I'm going to do is swap over to her viewer. There we go, and I'm going to sit her behind the altar. You have an adjustment thingy just like on the risers, so you can push her up and down however you want her to look, or however she wants to look, because I guess normally you're not going to have your alt as your official. So she has the officials pack, and I'm going to put the HUD on. There it is. Let's just move that over there. And she also has the hand ties. Now obviously she'll need to be able to res these. And so just make sure she's got the ability to do that. And she can move them into position so that they are covering both the hands of the participants. They do have inside them a resizer, so you can use that to get them the right size. That looks okay. Now at the beginning of the ceremony, these cords wouldn't be wrapped around the participants' hands because that happens as part of the ceremony. So we're going to go to the third tab on here and just go through and make them all invisible. Okay. Now on the first tab of the HUD there is the ceremony speaker. There are some instructions. You can click the info button, but also if you click the little settings button, okay, there is a help, which is the sort of a more full help note card. If you click that one, reset will take the note card inside here back to 0. And you can also jump to a certain number in the lines, and if you don't know what the lines are, okay, you can go to the web page that it suggests. It will bring up this website, and I suggest you do this before, not during the ceremony. Okay, just have this in your inventory. So you would paste the contents of your note card in here. Let's show you an example. So if I go into, and again, right click, choose edit, edit linked, click on the speaker button. Okay, and inside here is a note card. Now there's an example ceremony in here, which if you're going to use this, you need to edit it, because I actually went to a wedding the other day and they obviously hadn't edited their note card. So it said like, you've come here to see the wedding of enter names. So make sure that anything in between these brackets and these types of brackets, you replace it with the information that should be there. Or of course you might write your own ceremony, or the participants would write their own ceremony. But I just want to show you this numbering, so I'm going to copy that a sec. I'm going to go back to that website. I'm going to paste it in there. Okay, I'm going to click number lines, and so what it does is it very helpfully numbers your line. So I would just copy that, and what I would do is I would create a new note card, paste that into it, so I've got it for reference. Now the reason for this is if you log out you should be able to log back in and it will be at the same point on the note card. Should be fine. But you know what Second Life's like. You know, sometimes things go wrong. And if you're in the middle of a ceremony, you do not want to have to go right back to the start of the note card again. You want to be able to pick up where you left off. Okay, and that's why I've put this in here as a just in case. So you would jump to and then enter the line number. And you'll know the line number because you have a note card with the same ceremony in it, but with all the lines numbered. You don't want the numbered note card to be in the thing because you don't want it to be spoken. Okay, so what happens, let's just reset this and put it back to the start. I'm not sure whether you can see it because of the way that I've done the window, but you should be able to. Okay, so you should be able to see it coming up here. Okay, so you can start to see each time I click the speech bubble, it will bring up the next line. Okay, which just means it just makes it a little bit easier to do your ceremony without having to copy and paste, things like that. We want you to be relaxed when you're marrying somebody. Okay. So when we get to the point in the ceremony where the hand ties will be draped over the participants' hands, now that might be done by the official, okay, in which case you would just have something written in your ceremony and reveal the ties as you get to that point. Sometimes when people do hand fasting ceremonies in real life, they actually have members of their family and friends come up and drape each tie over the person's hands. So you could do that. You could have them come up, a friend come up, and as they're stood there, you would then click the HUD and reveal the first chord. Somebody else would come up, say a few words, and you would reveal the second chord. Okay, and so on until all 6 are visible. Now the colours of these hand ties are significant, and there are lots of suggestions online about what they mean, and there is actually in the manual, which is here, so that will offer you a note card. Okay, there's the manual. Okay, and you'll see here that there are there's a suggestion of what the colours mean. You would discuss that. If you're the official, you would discuss that with your participants and see what colours they want to use for their ties, and then you can change the colours of the ties as to the wishes of your participants. And you would do that prior to the ceremony, not during. Okay. So let's assume the ceremony has been conducted, and the next part that is often in hand fasting ceremonies is jumping the besom or the broom. So I'm just going to show you what that's about. So I'm going to jump off here. Now I know that is the wrong way around. Let's just change that round, and I'm going to sit on here, and I'm going to get my alt to do the same. And again, prior to the ceremony, you might want to do a little bit of adjusting of position. Okay, so we want to be in the start position to start with, and let's have a look at positions here. They look okay, probably because I've been playing with this. You might find that they're very out, you know, somebody's in the ground or whatever, so you would use the adjust to move yourself up and down, okay, until you're in the right position. And now you need to do that for each of these, the start, jump and after. Okay, don't worry about the others for a moment. Start, jump and after. So let's go into jump. That's what they're going to do. We just need to make sure that they are at the right height. So again, what I've suggested is at the start that their feet are level. When they go to jump, I want their hands to be together. Okay, don't worry the fact that she's hanging up in the air there for a moment. Maybe bring her down a little bit. So again, let's go to pose. There we go. Okay, so that they're holding hands. Now, important, when you change position, whether it's in the risers or on the besom, save it. Okay, and you will see it will save your position. Because we're doing this prior to the ceremony, you don't want to have to do it again at the ceremony. Okay, so make sure you save the position for each of the participants. And we're also going to choose after. And again, for after, I would try and line up their feet, which they happen to be because I've been fiddling with this earlier. Okay. Now when you click it, now that we've adjusted and saved, okay, when we choose jumping the besom, okay, it'll bring up a kind of play situation, and if you just press play, it will go through the sequence of those three, and you can, and that's what will happen at the ceremony. But you need to just set up, make sure that you're in the correct positions on all three of the start, jump and after positions, and then it'll look cool. So included in this, there is also a couple of static poses that you might want to do for photos, and again make sure that they're lined up at the hand so that they're holding hands, and then you can take a nice photo. There's actually a couple of different poses there. They look completely unimpressed with it. It's a good point though, actually. So if you're going to be doing something like this and you're going to be taking photos, it's probably not relevant to the hand fasting, but you know, choose something that's a bit more fun as a facial expression. These days we've got all of these things on these wonderful faces. There's a grin. Okay, so put some fun on the faces of your people. I think that's just about it. There's quite a lot to take in, so I hope it's made it a little bit clear, and obviously you can rewatch this video to clarify. And if you need support, the best way to get support for Jinx products is to contact Jinx store-bot resident. Okay, now you might think, well, I don't want to talk to a bot, but all that does is it sends the message to all of my team of people. Okay, so you're messaging the bot, but the bot will relay the message to my team of people, and then one of us will get back in touch with you as soon as we can. Enjoy.